Hi, John Marshall, the DrillMaster. This is Green High School at a Delaware competition, unarmed exhibition drill. Let me do this. I don't have this adjusted properly. I'm sorry. Do this while you're watching. I apologize. There, that's better. Okay. So they had a month to put this together. So let's see how creative they got and the outcome. All right, here we go. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. That is really cool. Now, whether I like something or dislike something has absolutely nothing to do with judging, but I just like it. It really is creative, innovative, honestly. Having the commander, maybe the commander, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Having one individual and then a kind of a ripple effect for the rest of the team coming up. Sorry about the lagging and the noise, honestly, in the background. Yeah, interesting start off. That works well. I appreciate it. Oh, and you're marching a diamond formation, it looks like, as well. Oh, interesting. Now, that was awesome. Love that. I absolutely love it. So, some feedback just for that specific timing. Timing moving out. I really do love that. That was just fantastic. The movement over of the single lines and then spreading out into the wedge formation. Actually, the opposite wedge with the commander. Absolutely well done. Very well done. So the timing coming out here is a little iffy. And then the kneel and the salute, also the timing. The kneel and the salute is great, except look at the variation of technique. So you can see, I've got my cursor here in the middle. So you can see the angle. And if you want an angle for everybody, that's fine. That's no problem. Now, everybody is turning their torso to the right, so the left knee is probably brought in just a bit. I'd have to, do that on my floor here just to see what would be going on. But I would suggest that the other side, instead of kneeling the same and then turning to the left where they're turning to the right, I would have them kneel with their left down, their right knee up, and then so it would look mirror image, I think, and even maybe a left-handed salute. I mean, so left-handed salutes aren't. Some people think that's disrespectful. Not even close. People used to salute with either hand. It didn't matter for many, many years. I'm talking hundreds of years. It didn't matter what hand you saluted with. Nobody cared. And then standardization finally found its way into the saluting protocol. So that's why we salute only with the right hand. But you can salute with the left. That's not a big deal. This is exhibition drill. You can do that. So, but look at the extreme angle here, though, of the lower leg for this cadet. Now, and I get it. I do get it. That there's the twist of the torso, so it's going to contort the rest of the body, the lower part of the body, just a bit to achieve a certain effect. So, what are you doing with the salute? Because it looks like he has his head and eyes straight forward. So his hips are more or less facing this way. Shoulders are facing more or less this way towards the front. But then we have this cadet at the very end who's doing this, turning his head. So did you want people to look straight ahead? Because he's almost turning around. It's such an extreme angle. I would suggest looking straight ahead so that everybody looks the same. Also, look at the spacing here. Did you want everyone in sets of 2, or did you want them evenly spaced out? If it's sets of 2, it looks like this on this side, and since I can't see the other side, at least not yet, I'm thinking that maybe you didn't want them in sets of 2, because I can see right behind the cadet standing here, I can see kneeler, 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 and they're all 3 relatively spaced even. And then we have a larger space, and then so I'm thinking maybe the spacing thing was I just kind of fell into the way it is, and it's not been a concentration point. So it needs to be a concentration point there. But man, I love that entrance. That was just so good. Really nice. So it was. There are 3 types of visual effects. Oh, okay. So now I can see the rest. So it doesn't look like. I'm sorry for the lags. My internet today is a little screwy. Yeah. So it seems. I wonder. It seems like it wasn't. You didn't want specifically sets of 2. Oh, and there's even a cadet well over here. So see, there's big spacing there, and if you wanted the bigger spacing, pass through, nicely done. Look at that alignment. Yeah, it worked well. Did you want everybody to stop like this, or did you want everybody to stop at with an angle? If the angle, fine. But it needs to look purposeful. Usually when you have a line of people walking or marching in front of you, you're going to want, or at least expect, a straight line. So if you want that angle to come out, then it needs to look purposeful. So and purposeful means that you either need to stop at a step 2, which means that one person stops, then 2 steps later another, or even a step 1 or a step 2. A step later, then the next person stops, so it goes like this. It just kind of inches out like that. Or if you want everybody to stop at the same time, then they need to be evenly spaced, and it actually looks like they're evenly spaced. So I'm tending to think that you wanted that angle there. Bit of a scatter drill there, which was interesting, and then reforming. Pass through again. Yes, that's fantastic. Love it. Really well done. So you set up the move to happen right in the center, which is really good. And now you're going to bring the 2 wedges together and form the block. Yes. Oh, that's fantastic. Just love it. Excuse me. So I have a suggestion for you. Let's go back to here. All right, here. Instead of stopping, facing a certain direction, doing some arm movements, excuse me again, what about incorporating the facing movements with the arm movements? All right, so it doesn't look like you're, okay, we've come to a halt, now we must face this way, now we must do the arm movements that are expected. It's more of okay, we checked off, we stopped. we checked off, we faced. Okay, next we're going to do some arm movements. Next we're going to face. Next we're going... So it doesn't look like you're going through a checklist. Make it more of... And I know that the cadet who asked for this this critique, he mentioned that the flow needs work. Yes, and I'm so glad you know that. That's excellent. You started here, you had a month. So far, I'm just absolutely thrilled with what you've come up with. This is fantastic. Now take this and refine it and get it to where you stop and face and do some arm movements and maybe a stomp or two here and there, different types of facing movements, something that then integrates all of the movement all together so that there's just almost a seemingly endless flow to your movement. So hopefully I'm making sense there. So not as sharp. So right here, this cadet, I notice, if you're going to do something and it's going to be different from the others, then it's going to stick out like a sore thumb. And your hands right here stick out like a sore thumb. You can see you went down and then kind of, you almost went limp a little bit instead of slap with your hands and then cup and then start marching with coordinated arm swing. If that's what you want to do with the coordinated arm swing, that's fine. Again, integration of the body movement and the marching is going to help create a much better flow. And then here, as you step, you're kind of turning around there, and there's no real sharpness to your movement there. And I don't want to just pick on him, but he was one I noticed. Arm swing is big variation, shows big variations here. So instead of here, you're setting up the box, which is just fine. So this is called a negative space. A circle is a negative space formation, and then a box, which I really can't do with my hands, is a negative space formation. There's nothing in there, so it's negative. A positive space formation would be the block formation, the flight formation that you made. So let's go back. I know really I can talk for hours on stuff like this, and I'm trying not to bore you. So from here, let me ask you a question before we get going on the rest of this. From here, you have the negative space circle. Okay, fine. You integrated that from the block formation. You moved out into the circle. All right. So now you're marching from here over to here, and you understand what I mean, over to this part of, I'll move my cursor here, over to this part of the floor. You move from back here to over here just to form the box, the negative space box. Why? So why didn't you form it there? Why did you move over here in this follow the leader movement, which is fine. Follow the leader is fine, but there's nothing to keep the audience's attention right here, except, okay, well, all right, marching in a straight line and everybody's doing this. Oh, okay, now they've broken off. So, and then timing here is a little iffy with the feet. So the floor coverage most likely is what you wanted. And then you take that, and it looked like you were going to form another circle. You didn't. Then move to this. Two lines separated by a fairly large distance. what was the intention here? So instead of, and this is just an idea, obviously you don't have to take any of my ideas if you don't want to. I'm going to link, I'll make a note here. I'm going to link the boxes of 3 method for you. So I have articles at my website on how to write exhibition drill, and when you formed the when you formed the box, going from the circle to the box, that's fine. I understand what you're trying to do there, floor coverage. It's just not a performance. It's more of a, okay, we performed here, and now we have to march over here to form this negative space box so that we can perform again. All right, you didn't perform through from the circle to the box. Okay, I would suggest, if you're going to keep both of those, fine, but then perform from one to the other. And then from the box to here, this really isn't as eye-popping as your entrance up to the big reverse wedge. That, and then from there, forming the two smaller wedges, the positive space wedges, crossing them through. I mean, you're talking. This is high level exhibition drill visual performance. This is fantastic. Then you come here. Now you've just dropped down quite a bit, and there's nothing here to really engage. So if you're going to do that, I'll put the boxes of 3 link in below. But what I would suggest is, as you march forward, why not cross over and then end here? And then you can continue on. Just marching the 2 lines like that, and I think actually they were kind of staggered a bit. Marching the 2 lines like that really doesn't do much. So you form more or less an X. And then you reform the flight. Okay, so it just really isn't something that is like I said, eye grabbing, eye popping. You're not doing anything as far as performing. Yeah, sure, you're marching and you're making a couple of designs, which is okay, but this is you were at, let me put it this way, you were at college level. All right, not that college level march is better. I'm just saying, as far as we have college, we have high school, middle school, and then elementary school. You were at college level for the first part of your performance. Now you're at elementary school level. So that's a huge drop down for this. You're supposed to build up and then slightly drop, build up and then slightly drop, or continue to build and build and build and have that high crescendo at the end of you go from more or less a high school level up to college almost immediately, and then you just continue with that amazing work that you originally designed. That was just fantastic. This doesn't do anything for your performance at all. It's just another way to reform. And the stomps are, this is a stop start portion here, but the stomps are just are commands, just a different type of command. Nice beta. That was good. And so, just as the cadet mentioned, you know, the flow of the routine just isn't happening all that well. Oh, okay. Report out position. Wow, that was. Look at the hands here. In front, behind. Half are in front, half are behind. Maybe you intended that? Okay. Watch them, Judge. They're still performing, Judge. Good. Okay, so then single file out, and I can appreciate that. However, you're not performing out. You performed in, and holy cow. You know, what I would suggest is for the report out, form a wedge. You had the reverse wedge with the commander here. Form a wedge right in front of the judge with the commander right here. And then bring the two wedge sides together. Form your positive space wedges. Come through. Meet. Can you see? Come through and then meet and then march off. While performing, while doing some footwork and some body work, arm movements, things like that. Perform out. Don't just march out. But still, you did that in a month. Excellent job. That was impressive. That really was impressive. Awesome job. Wow. Okay. So don't forget to check the link down below. But boy, am I impressed. That was really something. Thank you so much.